Hey everybody, it has been a long time since we have been able to see each other in person. It was on March 16th, the day in which we suspended church activities. So if you add that all up, we are on day 37 of our quarantine as a church. It reminds me of those movies where people document a certain project they're doing, like this is day 273 in outer space or whatever, if you know what I'm talking about there. And we can make a movie out of this quarantine and what we're going through. Now, I imagine during these past 37 days, you have had more free or relaxed time than usual. In the Old Testament, they actually designated 1 out of every 7 days to rest and relax, and that is what we know as the Sabbath Rest. And I'm sure most, if not all of you guys, are familiar with the Sabbath Rest, as it was one of the 10 commandments that God gave to Moses. And we can read about the 10 commandments in Exodus chapter 20. And in verses 8 through 11, it talks about the Sabbath Rest, and it reads, "Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the 7th day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter, your male servant or your female servant, or your livestock, or the sojourner who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy." So there again, you guys are probably familiar with the Sabbath day. Again, just 1 out of every 7 days, that was to be a Sabbath rest, a day of rest, where they could do no work. And the Jews, they took this very, very seriously. And there's some law-abiding Jews to this day who still practice this. In fact, my mom's boss is a practicing law-abiding Jew. And he gets off of work on Friday early every week to get ready for the Sabbath rest on Saturday, as it's when the sun sets is when it all begins. And so what people often gloss over, though, when talking about the Sabbath rest is the command to keep it holy. It says in verse 8 at the beginning, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." And it concludes then in verse 11, "Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy." So often people, when they think about the Sabbath, they think just about doing nothing on 1 out of every 7th day. On the 7th day, doing nothing, resting all day, catching a nap, whatever it may be. And yeah, I'm sure they did catch some extra sleep and take a nap or whatever. But it was meant to be a holy time, a holy rest. And again, holy just means to be set apart. And so the Jews were to spend their Sabbath rest doing stuff that were set apart from everybody else. They should be doing different things than everybody else. And now, I don't believe we as Christians today in the year 2020 AD, I don't think we are commanded to keep the Sabbath day anymore, as a lot of things changed with Jesus Christ. And so with the Jews, though, with their free times, they're supposed to be holy. Their free times were supposed to look different than everybody else. And we too, I think our free time and I think our rest time should look different from those outside of the church as well. Our free time should be holy. It should be set apart. It should be different. We should be doing different things with our free time than everybody else. So this includes reading your Bible, this includes praying, meditating, etc. And yeah, it's okay to watch movies or to watch TV, play video games, play board games, do puzzles, whatever you like to do in your spare time. It's okay to do those things. They can be good stress relievers. But our free time must include the holy things or the set apart things, the different things like praying and reading your Bible. And so overall, our free or our rest time should look different than those outside of the church. If your free time doesn't look different at all to those outside of the church, then that needs to change. As our free time, as our rest time needs to be holy, it needs to be set apart. So I'd encourage you during this quarantine, when you probably have more free time than usual on your hands, I would encourage you to remember to keep your free time or to keep your rest or relaxed time holy, as we are commanded to do, to keep our time holy. Thank you guys. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you all on Thursday.